Welcome back. How to avoid eating when bored at work, guilt free. This is from a conversation that was going down on Reddit. Started a new job a few months ago and have been pretty bored doing it so far. Normally, I'd be walking around the site all day. Now I'm just sitting at my desk, bored, and gained almost 20 kilograms in a few months. How do I stop eating from boredom? I put that's about 44 pounds in a few months. Right. So in this video, I'm going to give you what to look out for, how to treat your boredom immediately with or without food, and then the deep work that'll help you lead the healthy, fulfilling life of your dreams. Let's get into this. My name is Reggie. I'm the founder of Fit for Freelance, where I build adaptive business leaders through compassionate health coaching. Practice is a big part of the guilt free game plan. Let's talk about what's going on here. So, we want to look at things that cause weight gain. Typically, one is an increase in or a decrease in activity time that can make a huge difference. And then the second thing, sustained excess calories. Third is not adapting. So click like if you can relate to one of those three things that are contributing to weight gain for this particular person or in your own life. Okay. And what we want to go over is how to treat boredom without food, because it's very easy if you are sitting somewhere bored, a little disengaged, that you might think that you're ready to eat a snack, but that doesn't necessarily happen. And what we want to do is bring awareness to this situation so you can make the right choice for yourself and what fits it. Okay, so let's get into the process a little bit. The first thing is recognize your boredom. When you can clearly identify what's going on with your emotional state, that can make a huge difference in whether you make a good decision or suitable decision in that situation. I was doing research for this video. I saw this link to Colleen Christensen. She's an RD I follow at No Food Rules on Instagram, and I put a link to her YouTube video down below. She goes over some of the technical details on how to avoid eating food when you're bored. So that's a big part. Two, identify the immediate cause of boredom. So when you are sitting thinking, okay, I'm bored. What's going on? Why do I feel bored right now? And we're looking in a short term, like what just happened or what's not happening that's contributing to me feeling bored. A lot of times, disengagement from work. That's what this person's describing above. And what about your work is disengaging? So, what I'm doing is I'm slowing down this process. You understand what causes boredom so you can make better choices. So, is it from your assigned task? Do you not like the task that you've been assigned? Would you rather be doing something else? Should you be delegating these tasks? These are important questions to ask when you're feeling bored. And overall, what we're looking at is antecedent slash environment. So this comes from my experience in positive behavior support. Got a graduate certificate in this. We want to look at the overall circumstances that are contributing to your sense of boredom. So that is the first part or the second part. Now, the third part, choose the most effective treatment for the emotion, which in this case is boredom. So overall, there is a category of emotional eating. Since we're talking about boredom, you want to treat directly that emotion. A lot of times, food is like a catch-all just because it feels good to eat. It can be nostalgic or comforting or soothing or just an activity. But if you are bored, you want to do things that treat your boredom directly. Choose the most effective treatment for the emotion. And so, what we want to do is go a little bit deeper and looking into this, asking questions like, is it okay to be bored? Now, we do have currently overall a very fast culture where you need to be constantly entertained, always looking at something. Social media kind of fills the gap. If you're standing in a line at a grocery store, you pull out your phone, you start scrolling social media just because you can't be bored for like 30 seconds, right? So the first thing is to ask yourself, is it okay to be bored? And getting comfortable with sometimes having an idle moment wherever you are, hopefully not too much at work, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. And then once you identify why you're bored, is it okay to be bored? If you're engaged in this process, you're actually thinking and becoming more aware, and that can make a huge difference. And then so next you would ask, how effective will food be to feel less bored? When you're clear on this, then you don't just jump the food. You have more time to consider your thoughts. And then you can think, is this going to make me feel less bored? Simple question, but easy to forget to ask. That's how people get stuck. Next one I have, how closely does eating food when bored match my health goals? So if you are leaning towards the choice to eat when you're bored, then what can I do in this situation? Will it support my health goals? Will my health continue to support my life in this kind of situation? Now, you don't have to like make it a whole, judgment driven thing. It's skill free coaching, obviously, but when you know what your health goals are specifically, if you have a weight loss goal, you can't keep eating because you're bored. You want to make more choices that support that health goal so you can take confident ownership of your path to freedom and fitness. That's what I talk about over here on this channel. So think about how closely eating food match your goals. And if you want support defining your health goals clearly so you know what it looks like when you're making the right choices for yourself, I have a list. It's a big part of the guilt-free game plan where we define your values and your goals and what it would take to make your choices match your goals more often. Once you're more clear on that, when you get into these situations, should I eat food when I'm bored? Should I do this or that? If you have dilemmas, when you've already identified the most suitable choice in advance, then you're more likely to make that selection in real time. I hope that makes sense. All right. So the guilt free game plan is the most compassionate way to break your weight loss and business goals into actions you can take today. So you start to get clear on what those decisions look like. You can break down this awareness process and then make effective choices, ultimately leading to healthy, fulfilling life of your dreams. All right. So when you're going into that, if I choose to eat, what will support my health and business goals? So maybe you aren't strictly bored, you are a little bit hungry, or even if you are, you're deciding to eat at this point. What's going to support your health and business goals? What's going to make you feel your best so you continue working effectively? So you aren't undermining your weight loss goals. So healthy snacking, I'll put a link to that video. Things that you can eat, maybe some fresh fruit, frozen fruit, something light, probably less junk food. Don't go for like the typical snacking foods that can, like potato chips would not be like a great choice here just because they're so calorie dense. So high fiber foods, high fiber snacks, these are foods you can eat when you're bored that won't undermine your health goals. And overall, what I want you to remember is do your best. Always do your best. That way, later, when the time comes, you know you've done your best now and then, and you're in a new situation based on what you've done previously, and you'll still do your best then. That's something I always come back to. So that's how you do it. Dealing with your boredom immediately, what we want to do next in the second half of this video is look at the deep work and identify the root cause of your boredom, and especially if it happens often. So if you keep doing this where you have a habit or a pattern of eating when you're bored, you want to find out why are you so bored in the first place. All right. And a lot of times this is the major challenge when it comes to weight gain is you're doing a lot of things that you don't want to do or you don't feel is suitable for you or you're not enjoying it or some combination of that. You don't see the purpose of it. When you're disconnected from the purpose and the mission of what you're doing, then it's a lot harder to stick to it. So you'll see this if you're trying a super restrictive diet and you're like, I don't want to do this. Or if you are doing a job or a task that you hate doing and then you feel bored when you have to do it, or it's not even enjoyable or engaging for you, right? These can be big factors in your choices, and especially when it comes to food or some of the more fundamental ways you can soothe yourself and your mind. So you want to be aware of what's going on behind the scenes, right? And a coach can definitely help you identify that. And with this person, the same person in a different thread on Reddit. So one part was on the weight loss thread, and then in the same day, I was talking with them and helping them out. I found this on a different section, feeling stagnant and bored with life. I just feel like it's the same thing every day. Everything seems to be going well, but in the past year, I've been feeling like something is missing. It feels like I'm living someone else's life through my own. So when you are click like you can relate to that. So this is a like two-part thing when you're looking at boredom, disengagement from work, and that can affect all your choices beyond that. That can cause you to feel stressed or totally like numb, right? When it feels like you're living your life, someone else's life through your own. And that is something that I really focus on here is the vision of Fit for Freelance is every entrepreneur knows how to lead a healthy, fulfilling life of their dreams. And these things go hand in hand. So I don't just talk about weight loss. I talk about how your health supports your life and how you make these choices. So the question you would ask beyond that is, do I usually find my daily activities rewarding? I want you to think about this. Do I know what the healthy, fulfilling life of my dreams looks like? And am I living it most days? Right. And this is when you have this added context, it's easier to make choices that match with that. And you're probably going to have more of the lifestyle that you want, including the body that you want. Right. This all goes together. It's hard to describe in one video, but I'm painting a picture gradually. All right. So, do you find your daily activities rewarding? And this is part of the burnout assessment test. Nine, I struggle to find any enthusiasm for my work. And when you don't have the enthusiasm for your work, if you feel bored, if you feel disengaged, then that can cause you to feel burned out. And that's a symptom of burnout, feeling stagnant, feeling bored, emotional eating to treat your boredom. All these things are related. The burnout assessment test is linked below. That's got 33 questions that you can answer. It's a free assessment. So you can identify what's going on if you are constantly bored, disengaged at your work. And the key question that I always ask, back to that vision, what does a healthy, fulfilling life of my dreams look like? So if you're feeling this way at work, what can you do to make your work more rewarding? Or what tasks can you delegate? What can you design? Maybe you need a new career field, something like that, right? So describing this allows you to make more choices that match. So you're less bored and bored less often, right? Then you're less likely to gain weight from eating to cope with boredom because you've treated the fundamental challenge of being bored at work or with whatever you're doing. All right. So this is, you get it. All right, let's keep going here. This is how the guilt free game plan helps. When you identify what the healthy, fulfilling life of your dreams looks like, then you can make more choices that support that. That'll help keep you from eating when you're bored. It's not just about, oh, these chips are here and just pop them right in my mouth and these little chocolates and all these little things. You want to look at the root causes and treat those so you can take confident ownership of your path to freedom and fitness. Leave a comment if you want to talk about this because I can go on about it. This is real simple for me, but it's because I have a lot of practice understanding how the mind works, especially when it comes to health habits. That comes from years of working in public health and nutrition education and coaching. So that is an overview of what to do if you find yourself eating when bored and ways to approach it and looking at the deeper purpose behind what you're doing. That's going to make it a lot easier. If you want to learn more, next you can watch Wondering If You Need a Health Coach. What does a health coach do? I'll put that video right here. So that's today's message. Let me know what you think. As always, keep practicing. Peace.